So this is the very first. This is episode 1 of Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. And let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Let's start with Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. And
well, that was great. Thanks. Now next. Now go ahead.
Finish.
Give us your background.
Well, I'm part of the paranormal team here that we have called Third Eye
I was
Chronicle.
born 32 years ago.
Yeah, 34 years ago in Napa. That legend was born. Yeah, at an old hospital they don't even use anymore. It's probably haunted.
It was a
Because
vet.
that's how hospitals go. And at least in all of my experience, in every hospital I've been to where I've never seen or experienced anything. But, no, generally I'm kind of an empath. I like to invoke spirits instead of provoke spirits. And, we've been involved in a few different things lately and been a lot of fun.
Cool. All right. Next.
My name is Ryan. I've been in the paranormal field for about 20 years. I tend to specialize in the spiritual side of things, and I like to do a lot of research. I do come from a law enforcement background, so I like to use those type of investigative techniques. But overall, it's just been a pretty wild ride.
And also, you have a hard time remembering to talk directly into your microphone.
There's too many things to look at.
I know. There really is. My name is Bill. I am a filmmaker / not believer, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Because I generally don't believe in a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. Although, keep in mind that I could be wrong, and I probably am. I probably am about some of it.
Well,
maybe a little bit of it. And when I say I'm more of a skeptic, because I did spend 9 months researching ghosts in a movie called Ghostumentary, which you should all watch right now. Blatant plug.
well, don't watch it right now. Wait till the podcast is over.
Well, that's true. We actually, anyway, so some things happen in that. It's on Amazon Prime, by the way. You can watch it. Ghostumentary, Amazon Prime. And YouTube. It's on YouTube.
There's supposed to be a second one, too, right?
Well, we're filming that.
Oh, yeah.
Not the second, but
not currently.
But we are. So anyway, this podcast is... Ryan, tell them what this podcast is going to be about.
It's going to be about everything. Paranormal, supernatural, maybe even a little bit of conspiracy theories or whatever we really want to talk about.
I hope Bigfoot.
Oh, absolutely Bigfoot. He's an alien, right?
Yeah. An alien ghost.
Yeah.
Who knows Elvis?
Cool.
Oh, he has to know Elvis. They had the same hairdresser.
That's really the only reason I want to talk to him.
Because of Elvis?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. What do you think, Bill?
I just want to find there's a Bigfoot. I really do. I just like, listen, I don't. There's not. And let's just talk about real quick.
Wait, hold on.
What's the worst show? Like, you want to know the most misleading show ever? Finding Bigfoot, which just got canceled.
I was nearing 100 episodes, wasn't it? It was on there for a while. I was actually impressed about how long that show stayed on there.
Finding Bigfoot. You talk about a show that did not live up to its name. They would have been better off like looking for, or is that Bigfoot? Because everything was Bigfoot. Now I'll admit I watched maybe 6 episodes of it because people, we live in a world now where everybody tries to be so cool. And I just watched that one show. It just came on Netflix, and it was Boomtown Gold or something like that, or it's where they go to these two guys or Gold Town.
Ghost Town Gold.
Yeah. That's
I watched that too, actually, just last week.
Those guys tried so hard to be likable. They try. You could just tell, like the whole time, like, "Hey, put me on camera, make me cool." And I could just tell, like the whole thing was just so staged. But everybody tries to be the next. I mean, I don't know. American Pickers does really well. People like those guys.
They have done well.
I've been rewatching all the MythBusters, and I was like, Adam and Jamie, those guys were just like so likable.
Natural.
They're supernatural, and they just, even though you could tell they didn't like each other. They liked each other, they respected each other, and they did fun stuff.
They were supernatural.
But when you watch like
it was the mustache.
The Finding Bigfoot show, they tried so hard to be cool and clever and have this dynamic, which just was not there. And they spent all that time. By the way, everything on that show was a Bigfoot, if you ask them. So we're camping, and I know you probably think it's a raccoon in that tree, but it's Bigfoot. And they high five each other. We almost saw Bigfoot tonight. But did you? Anyway.
It's the mask that gave it away.
I almost got laid tonight. High five, everybody.
So wait, hold on. You don't believe in Bigfoot?
No, not at all. I don't believe.
Okay,
in Bigfoot.
so do you believe in evolution?
Yeah, I do. But how is that? Is he the missing link? I don't understand.
That
where
would
you're going
make
with
the
it.
most sense, wouldn't it? Like the whole Australopithecus, which was the link between what we last know as humans and I think anyway, the last we know as humans and the monkeys, the apes, right? Why couldn't he be that link?
Well, he could be, but why does the link still have to be existing today? And listen, okay, I'll say, there's zero evidence, but when people start throwing why don't we find their corpses? Why don't we find this and that? It's
Because they bury their dead.
Okay, well that's why. Why
Or
would
they're cannibals. I don't know.
they eat their bones?
They could.
No. I'm in defense of that. Some people that's not my reasoning why. There could be a lot of different. I've seen. There's a lot of animals in the. I've never run across bear bones. Never ever in my life have I ever stepped on a bear bone. But I know bears are out there. I've never seen a bear corpse.
You haven't?
No. Actually, I haven't either. I've been on a while.
So
I've
are
seen bears.
bears ghosts too? I don't understand. We know bears exist. We've seen them. People have seen Bigfoot. The correlation between finding a dead Bigfoot and a real Bigfoot doesn't... I mean, there is no... Okay, how do I say this? If you see a live Bigfoot versus a dead Bigfoot, you still have proof that you have Bigfoot, right?
Sure.
The only difference between finding a dead Bigfoot is that you can take it places to show people.
Hey, Ryan, when you come over this weekend, can you bring that Bigfoot
Yeah,
over?
that stuffed Bigfoot. You
Yeah,
got
it's
sitting
right
in your
there.
garage.
Oh, sure, no problem, man. The kids love it.
It's a real party thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
like a-
Taxidermy Bigfoot.
It's like a bounty castle, just cooler. My point is this: it's like I understand. I don't fall for all the reasons why people say there can't be a Bigfoot. Listen, I know there's a lot of unexplored territory all over, and they can hide. But my point is this: we've never seen one, and there's so many people out there causing hoaxes that I could feel that that's why.
Well, I also feel like that's a slippery slope. Just because there are people doing hoaxes doesn't mean that it's fake.
Well, and why are they doing hoaxes? Because I think even in Idaho, there's
Because
been
they can.
Bigfoot reports in 1860, 30 years before Idaho was a state and just a territory. They were reporting Bigfoot or some kind of entity. Or
Well, right, and
weird guy.
people in the 1860s didn't do hoaxes.
Big, hairy, smelly people probably existed out in the mountains all the time.
Right.
Well, and then there's, again, if you want to talk about then and present day, there's not a single person on this planet that's walking around. Well, okay, there are people. There's most of the people in this country are walking around with a cell phone on their back pocket with the camera. Yet we're not actually seeing any footage of this stuff. And the stuff that we do see is who taught these people to film stuff. Oh, look, it's just for a second, and then I went out of focus and I went back. And that's the same thing with anything.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's one of the biggest arguments in the paranormal world about anything. When you have a video and if it's already trained at some window where suddenly some face shows up, well, how often are you going to be set and ready for whatever is going to happen spontaneously?
Well, here's the issue with that is there has not been a single piece of equipment created for paranormal activity or paranormal investigation that we know works because we have no proof. I hate to say this. We have no baseline for any type of actual activity. So we don't know how to record it because we've never had the opportunity to actually be in a lab and have the right equipment to record it.
Do you feel that there's ever been some sort of video evidence of anything that you think, okay, that's real? Like that, I now believe. Have you ever seen whether it's
Bigfoot?
paranormal? No. Of anything, of like UFOs, of paranormal anything. I don't know. It could be the chupacabra. I mean, I don't know if there's anything that you've ever seen. You go, oh, okay, that's real. Or is everything just suspect to you? Because to me, everything is suspect.
Well, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that is because you can have really great evidence, but we live in a digital world where anything can be altered.
Well, right. And I mean, if you're not savvy to what Photoshop can really do, then it's you have the wool pull over your eyes. But to answer your question, of all the videos I've seen, if there was something that I wanted to check into more, it'd probably be UFO videos. There's some of those that I see that are really interesting to me. But the same question pops out in my head immediately. Is it all Photoshopped? Is the erratic behavior, erratic movement of that kind of stuff? I mean,
by the way, the heavy nose breathing that you're hearing right now, that's Ryan.
I'm not even breathing. I'm just sitting here.
No, you're picking up your nose. There we go. That's it. I know you're just sitting there. It's not like you ran here, but I'm picking up your nose breathing real well.
you need a foamy.
Yeah. What does that do for you?
Here,
Breaks up the breathing. You got one by your leg, too, man.
Oh, dude. All right. Anyway, continue.
Well, I got to put this thing on my mic.
Put your mic condom on.
You got to be gentle about it. No, just shove it on.
Hey,
Will you get it on already?
let's get it on. All right. So anyway, go ahead. We're talking about evidence,
What are you
video,
looking at me like
video or photo evidence. You know, this is really interesting because Lloyd Arbach, who I interviewed a couple years ago and talked to him about a bunch of paranormal stuff, and he said something I was really fascinated by. He's never seen a ghost. In his entire life, he's never seen one. But this guy has put his whole life into it because he believes.
Does he believe in the possibility or believe in the idea of the ghost do exist?
He believes in his own definition of what a ghost is. But he's got a couple different definitions, different types. But, you know, he believes 100%. He also believes in psychics, and he says he would rather, his words were, I would rather go into a haunted area with a psychic and be able to talk to a ghost all day via that way. Instead of an EVP and maybe get one or two things that he says.
Well, but here's the problem with that. That psychic could just be talking out of their ass.
Well, so it's an EVP.
And that's the thing. Like, so many psychics have just been busted for fooling people and convincing them of just complete nonsense. That's where I have a problem. It's like, well, then if that's your what you're using to gauge your level of success is there's a psychic in there, I got problems with that. So
They're not even the TV psychics, the ones that everybody knows. They're the credible ones.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So my issue with paranormal evidence is unless I'm there to completely witness it and then exhaust everything to the point of, death. It's got to be one of those things where I'll be like, that's a cool video or that's a cool story, but I can't validate it, so therefore I don't believe one way or the other if it's real.
Well, yeah, they're personal and subjective. Otherwise, it's always cool story, bro.
okay, so and now going back, and this is based on what Ghostometry 2 is based on, is that everybody has a ghost story. It's very fascinating how many people I don't have a ghost story, and even in the 9 months, things happened during the movie that I can't explain. But at the same time, so many people have a ghost story, and once I made Ghostometry, how many people came to me and they said, "Oh man, you got to film in my aunt's basement, or you should go film in my house." And recently had a conversation with a friend who just said, "Well, you're going to think I'm weird, but when I was a little kid, my aunts always used to come visit me in my sleep." And I said, "Well, you just said the words in your sleep. You think those might be dreams?" They go, "No, I'm pretty sure they were ghosts." So,
well, you're dreaming.
Yeah, no, I know. And hey, listen, I've had three things. So right now I live in a 100-year-old building, and three things have happened in here that have confused me. But every time I know, well, there's a logical explanation. And the first one being is I have a kind of a smoked glass door, and something flew across. I went to unlock it, and you see something black fly across the room. Could have been outside the window. Could have been geese flying by. I don't know. But it was huge. Something huge flew across the room. I looked at it like, well, it looked like somebody was in my house and ran across the room real quick. Second one is one day I was adjusting the thermostat, and I just heard somebody come up behind me, and they go, "Bell," like right in my ear. Like I almost felt the breath of this person. But again, because your mind is tricky, just like I couldn't find the margarine 2 days ago. And I looked all over, and finally Tanya came over, and I go, "Tanya, can you help me? I can't find my margarine."
And
I've looked all over.
"Bill."
But that time, the chills didn't go straight up his
spine. She goes, "Bill, it's right there on the bottom shelf." Because my brain wouldn't let me see it for the 40 minutes I looked for it. I just was looking for I had butter and I had margarine, and I was looking for the margarine, and I couldn't find it. And the very last thing that happened here is I have a slide lock. A little.
Wait, did you say you looked for 40 minutes?
It was close to on and off. Wow. No, I would go back and look for it, but then I looked in every cabinet because I thought, well, maybe I just blindly put it in the spice cabinet. I don't know.
That would make sense.
I don't have a spice cabinet, but if I did, it could have been in there.
It's kind of like you got the refrigerator from Ghostbusters.
It was. Yeah, there is no margarine. There's only Zool. There's only Zool.
You better believe it.
And the very last thing is I slid the little slide lock on there one time. And then I walked in front of me, went and sat on the couch. I walked in my bedroom, and she heard the slide unslide and fall. And there's no way to recreate that. We tried to recreate that, and we couldn't do it. But again, like, for me to sit there and say, well, I'm not saying it's ghost, but it's ghost, that's like not... So there's a skeptic part of me. I'm like, well, there's got to be a reasonable explanation. And as we know, the three of us have gone on paranormal investigations together for Ghostomentary 2, and every time we have had a reasonable explanation for what these people are saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always that question of whether you're going to go with your mental capacity or what you're feeling. I mean, when you have these experiences happen to you here in your apartment, I'm sure there's at least a little bit, half second, where you're thinking, holy crap, if I heard Bill or whatever, even if you just think it to yourself, you spook yourself for a second. I mean, do you go with like, I know I heard this because it scared the shit out of me and that's got to be real, or do you just go with your skeptic mindset of thinking, well, I've just got to recreate this somehow, and if I can't, then it's, then what? I'm just going to ignore it.
Well, that seems to be a big issue with the paranormal is there's so much evidence, but not all of it's quality evidence. So what happens is it gets flooded with, all the pictures of orbs, which are, dust, or what really makes me mad are when people take pictures of themselves with a ghost app and then tell me that this is the most horrifying thing they've ever seen and that it's real and I can't validate their experience because I wasn't there, but then I can take the same picture.
People are still... So I don't know if you guys ever go to Reddit, but the paranormal section and even the Bigfoot section, it is littered with people with the craziest stuff. And people will post videos. They go, video evidence, and you go and look at it, and you can't see anything. And it's really interesting because this one whole article, this whole thread was based on a gentleman that said that he woke up in the middle of the night and took a picture on his phone.
Why?
Of these red eyes that were staring at him. Okay.
So he just woke up and saw those and go, I'll just go ahead and get my phone. And...
Yeah. Well, it's probably, everybody sleeps with her. I mean, I think this guy legitimately probably thought. He took a picture, and everybody talked about these red eyes, but it's the misleading color. I did an eyedropper. I got the code, the color code, and I told him, like, this is not red. This is just like kind of an off-white. There's no red tones in this whatsoever, but all the outer colors made it look that way. And I got thrashed on. They're like, that's red. This is a ghost. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, well, I can't change this guy's mind. But everybody there posts. I mean, there's probably 30, 40 pictures a day of somebody saying, look at this ghost. And half the people go, man, that's a great picture. And the other half said, what? Are you high? So,
and that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, if you have evidence, it's best to try to investigate that evidence rather than just take it for face value. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen quite a bit or quite often. So,
all right, scariest thing you've ever seen?
Ryan naked. No, I'm just kidding. Thank God I haven't seen that
yet. Night's young.
Ooh.
Ryan, scariest thing you've ever seen? Or I shouldn't say scariest. Most, like, if you had to just tell one person, ghost. Let's start with ghosts. Have you ever seen a ghost?
I believe so. Yes. Now, the reason why I say I believe so is because it was kind of like right of coming out of sleep, right? And your brain, as you know, can play tricks on you, especially right when you're waking up. But I have a sister who's 8 years younger than me, and when I was 16, I was at my mom's, and I spent the night there. My sister, she was 8. I felt like someone sat down on the edge of my bed, and kind of sat up, and what it looked like was my sister sitting on the edge of my bed, looking out the window, or out the front door, or out the door of the room. And it was really early in the morning, and I said, Caitlin, you need to get off my bed and go back to sleep. She used to sleepwalk, so I didn't think nothing of it. But as I got up to kind of gently kick her off my bed, there was nothing there. So that was a very interesting scenario. But as for other ghost stories and other things that are horrifying, nothing too extravagant.
All right. Thomas, what do you got?
You know, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a ghost. I can tell you I've sensed some things that gave me some crazy willies, man, that I couldn't explain, and they're different from a lot of different things I felt that I couldn't explain. We couldn't go back through and recreate. I mean, there's a lot of different things I've experienced that I would attribute to, I don't know, something odd. I don't think I've ever actually seen a ghost. I don't think I've heard a ghost. I've definitely felt things that are not what you'd feel normally.
Okay. For me, no, I've never seen a ghost. Okay, here we go. Part 2. UFO. Ryan.
The tricky part about UFOs is that they're unidentified. Have I seen things that I don't know what they are flying in through the air? Absolutely. Last year in Nampa, Idaho, I saw 3 orange lights in the sky kind of making erratic patterns, and I took a video of it, and I sent it to Bill, but he was too busy, so he didn't get back to me. But other than that, I don't know. Right?
No, I mean, that I don't know. That's the one thing he's butthurt, man. I mean,
Yeah, well, at least I can find my margarine.
That's true.
that's why he didn't ever text you back about it. He was searching.
He was looking for margarine. Yeah.
I don't know. There's one thing I've probably seen that I think I've seen. It'd probably be a UFO. I've never seen Bigfoot, and I've never really seen a ghost. But there have been a couple of times I've seen lights up in the sky because I used to be a scout, and we went camping every month, and despite the weather and despite anything else. So we were always out, and we always made a big treat about just staying up really late at night and just being around the fire. So I just got to see a lot of interesting stuff at night in the sky. And there were a couple times I saw some stuff that moved around in different ways that didn't make any sense. It would pause for a while and then move around in a different way and then move in an opposite direction. Just things that, you know, maybe you're playing tricks on your mind, but if you're watching it and you can't explain it, this always leaves questions.
So when I grew up in L.A., and we were at a drive-in movie theater, and I'm the only one that saw it. There were 7 people in the car, 5 kids, 2 adults. And I looked over and I saw something landing. Now, I pointed it out, and everybody looked at me like they had no idea what I was talking about. But there was something in the sky, light spinning, landing, but it was so close. It was so close, and I was a child. I know in my mind I'm seeing it different than it was at the time. But something spinning lights landed. Now,
are you talking like across the street close?
I'd say it was probably 300 yards away.
So identifiable.
Yeah. I just saw flash, and it was landing. But here's the thing: it's like there's no way a UFO landed in the middle of LA by a drive-in theater, and that no one else saw it. So I know that it was something else. As far as I know, I don't know what it was. I really don't know. It could have been a helicopter, and there was an airport there, but it was spinning lights. And I said, "Mom, look at that!" And everyone looked like, "What are you talking about?" I saw it. Now I know it wasn't a UFO because again, there's no way that like aliens are like just have him see us, no one else.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
That's
if
how
it
the
was
CIA
flying
works.
and you didn't identify it, it was a UFO.
Aha! So I have seen a UFO.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they classify as UFO. That's right.
Exactly.
Boom chakalaka. All right, here we go. Now, next one. Hey, Ryan, have you ever seen anything? Let's just say we'll lump it all together. Let's say Bigfoot, Loch Ness, anything that was like some sort of folklorish type animal entity that people think they have seen. Because we could, and this could go into the Hawaii little
the
Devils
Nairobi?
and Hawaii Devils.
yeah, because we can go to that, which we need to investigate.
Kind of on that, you should tell them about Hojo's, what you told them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. So, what's really interesting is, yes, I believe I've seen something, but I don't know if you could classify it as anything supernatural or preternational or anything like that. So, I was at the cemetery in Brunswick, Missouri. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and it's very 2 large hills with a valley in the middle. Now, as we were leaving, between the 2 hills, we noticed what looked like a very large dog that was eating roadkill facing away from where we were driving. Now, being in the farm country, that's pretty natural. You know, dogs are everywhere. But as we got close to it, it didn't move off the road. And I flashed my lights on and off. I honked at it. I got about 6 or 7 feet away from it, and it stood up on its back legs and it walked off the road.
You've told me the story. I remember the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've told me this.
And there were 4 of us in the car, and that's why whenever I go to a location now, I always leave a camera in the car because we had packed everything up.
Oh, yeah, good call.
And I was like, let's go after it. And all my friends in the car were like, you are ridiculous. We're not going to do that. So I got new friends. But I haven't seen it since. So,
Tom?
No, actually. No, I haven't. I've been a lot of different places where there's supposed to be stuff. You know, and did a lot of stuff that you think would get you something. But no, I haven't actually seen anything.
All right, next one.
well, hold on. It's like that TV show. I don't remember the name of it. But there's a quote that said, I shot a werewolf once, but by the time I got to it, it turned back to my neighbor's dog.
Ah, bastard.
that was so
All my
funny
proof.
to me. Yeah.
These Polaroids took too long to develop.
I remember that. I can't remember what that's from.
I don't either.
Anybody listening, reach out to us and let us know what that was from. Because we don't know how to Google. Google's hard. All right, here's one. Our producer Tanya has a question that she brought up. What about angels or demons? Let's start with you, Ryan.
Nope. Tom?
I mean, I don't know if this go back to... I know it wasn't a ghost. Some kind of rejection. So kind of similar to yours. I sat up one time, and I was probably about 12 or 13. So I wasn't like a kid. And...
That's a kid. That's
Yeah.
not a kid.
Well, I guess so. I was a kid, and I sat up, and I looked near my open door, and I used to sleep with my door open a crack. I'd just freak out if my parents shut my door all the way because I was one of those kids. And in that area that was probably a foot wide, I saw a friend of mine who I'd known from childhood standing there, and it was like clear as day to me that she was just standing there and looking at me. And I remember it like freaked me out enough that I just buried myself underneath the covers and went back to sleep. Because I saw her clear as day. I think she blocked a little bit of light in the perceivably from the hallway. And she lived quite a few states away, and I actually got a hold of her a few days later, and she was fine. Everything was great. So I really don't know why I saw that or what I saw.
That may be more of like an astral
projection. And that's what I thought, maybe something psychic. So, I mean, along the lines of psychic like that, but no, maybe not. Demons.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because I have very firm beliefs on this, but near-death experiences where people say they died, went to heaven, and came back. Scientifically, it is proven that blood starts leaving your brain, you start to hallucinate, you start getting all these crazy images. People say, like, well, I was on I died for 3 minutes, and I went up to heaven, and I saw all this crazy stuff, and people have just... It's the craziest thing ever that people believe that. People believe that they die, and suddenly I was in heaven, and there was my dog, and there was my grandmother, and I was in heaven, and there was clouds, and it was beautiful. And then they brought me back to life, and I came back. And people don't understand. They always say the bright light. Scientifically, pulling the brain, all the blood out of your brain is going to cause that same thing, and you're going to hallucinate.
The interesting thing, the question to me about that whole thing is, like, I wonder about the psychic driving thing again, or like groupthink, because people report the same thing when they take the drug DMT, and that's supposed to put you out there and give you some kind of godlike experience. And people report the same kind of thing when they die. They have those near-death experiences where they're going through a tunnel of light or reaching extraterrestrial or above beings, and they're getting some kind of information on high. So it makes me wonder if there's some kind of correlation between those two, why that happens when DMT just lights up your mind, and Bill's talking about it happening when your brain drains of blood.
And I believe DMT is there's people that believe that DMT just opens up some sort of complete quantum world
portal, right?
Yeah, that you're just like experiencing things in the 15 minutes that you're super high. That
well, then you've got the concept of like Douglas McDougall, the scientist in 1907, and he thought that the soul would have a physical weight. So what he was doing is he would weigh people before they died and then after they died, and they were all 21 grams different in weight. Now, I think that's pretty interesting, because where did that 21 grams go, right? But it was pretty much straight across the board from what I remember, that they were all 21 grams lighter.
I mean, like, could that be perceived as your soul, or just like the collection of energy, you think? The constant motion in your body of cells and everything that just kind of dies off and stops moving? The reproduction stops?
Well, right, but I don't think, that physiological response would have a weight, but I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
I'm not a deathologist. So I'm not sure exactly what that would be. But also, your body goes. I mean, you're dying. You're probably breaking out in sweats. I don't know.
So you're thinking sweat is what caused them to
Maybe
weigh
it's
less?
21 grams of
You
sweat.
defecate
Everybody
when you
dies.
die.
You could.
What do you say?
Defecate when you die. It's 21 grams of defecate.
You might. Depends how you die. I don't think if you're just.
I know. I think that all releases, and you lose control of all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to make
We
light
took
of
a
what you're
dark
saying.
turn there.
Well,
Talking about the soul, now we're talking about defecation.
I don't think everybody who dies just immediately shits themselves.
that's probably
Well,
true.
let
I
us
mean,
know.
I
If
only play a
anybody has
doctor on
proof, let us
TV.
know.
What?
I said, if anyone has proof.
How
then
embarrassing that'd be, like a near death. Like you shit yourself and then come back to life, and you're like, "What's the first thing you saw?" You're like, I think I saw. They're like, no, dude, you need to go change your pants.
Yeah.
You just shit yourself. No, let me tell you what. I was just in heaven. I said, to my grandma, listen, just take a shower, put on some new pants. You shit yourself.
You took that 21-gram shard.
They were gonna let me in, and then he said, "You gotta take care of
Yeah,
that."
dude, you got a puppy dog's nose.
We
going
have
on.
standards.
You need to.
We have standards.
Every time somebody comes to St. Peter, they're like, dude, you shit yourself. I just died. Of course I shit myself.
Cut me some slack, man.
Yeah, and I sweated 21 grams. I don't know, and that is an interesting thing about the whole what the soul would weigh. I watched something on that, and I thought it was really cool. It is really cool, but there's a lot. Clearly, people say, "Oh, it's your last breath." Well, your last breath doesn't weigh 21
grams of breath, right? That's kind of a ridiculous notion.
But at the same time, think of it this way. And listen, again, I'm not a lungologist, but you're breathing in moisture. You're breathing in, you're breathing out. I don't know.
That's
like you take that last breath, your body immediately starts to decompose. It's like when animals consent, like a dog knows. A dog is lying next to its owner, and the owner dies, and the dog goes, "Oh shit, they're dead." Like dogs know immediately. How does a dog know immediately when?
Well, most people are going to say because they can see ghosts.
Well, I don't know. Dogs sense all sorts of things. Dogs sense cancer. That's been medically proven, or at least studies prove that dogs can sense cancer and different medical ailments.
Yeah, there was that story of the cat that would go lay on people who were dying and they were going to be dead.
That's because cats are the harbinger of death. That cat was just bringing about that death.
I would just lock my door and live forever.
That cat. So actually, we did we did a sketch on that, a little comedy video about that. But the funny thing is that was weird. Reading that cat would just go lay. It was in an old folks' home,
right?
And it would just go like, meow, find somebody and like. Was that cat killing him? I don't know. That cat just laid on everybody and then they would die.
It sounds like a bad Twilight.
So can you
episode,
imagine?
Twilight
It really
episode.
does, yeah.
Can you imagine how shitty that would be if you're living in that old folks' home and that cat just walks into your room? You're like, no.
That's why I just said
It's coming. Lock the door.
That's why I just said I'd lock the door and live forever.
Yeah.
But the thing, I mean, really, like when you're 100, when you're 95 years old, people say dude, when you're 50, don't skydive. You could die. When you're 90, it's like don't sleep. That's the number one cause of death when you're in your 90s is sleep. Centennials every day die. Every day, centennials die due to sleep. Never sleep, and yeah, you'll be fine. Just stay up forever. Do anything you want because you're going to die sleeping. That's what it's going to be.
True.
They died in their sleep.
Skydiving.
And every day, and it was like, man, I had a dog that was 18, and every day I thought she was dead because she was just sleeping. You walk in there and she didn't. Can you imagine living with somebody who's 100? Every morning you wake up and you go, hope they didn't die.
That's like 164 dog years, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's an old damn dog.
It is an old dog.
I just saw a cat not that long ago that was 26 years old.
Wow.
My mom
Again, how do you just go like, well, that cat's going to, every day, oh my God, you're alive? That's what you'd be doing.
Not me. My question is, how many people has that cat murdered already?
True.
Bringing death to.
Well, my mom had a cat that lived to be 27, and it went through the dryer 3 times. Yeah, it was great.
6 lives left.
It went through the dryer?
Yeah, it used to jump in there because it wanted to be warm, and it would leave with half a tail or...
Jesus.
Yeah. That's a true story.
Yeah, the dog that we had that lived to be 18 got hit by a car when it was a puppy, and they're like, we should put this dog down. It's not going to live very long. And the dog lived to be 18. By the way, actually, we had to put her down because she was just in so much pain. So really, that was like we had to put her down because she was going to live forever. You can't do that with people, though.
Live forever or put them down?
Put them down. yet.
The what would cause one is the reason for the other. Like you'd only live forever if you were completely full of resent, I think.
Yeah. You just got to buy a cat, let the cat kill him.
Soylent Green up, people. The people.
Yeah, we're moving to that, I think.
Soon. I don't know. Everybody's living forever now.
Yeah. That's the problem. And nobody's reproducing, so.
Are you kidding me? Have you ever? Never mind. I'm not gonna say
See, Japan, the United States, we're all at this level of we're not producing enough that we're gonna keep the population up to the levels it's at.
I think we need it. Well, first of all, we could use a good culling, right?
Well,
That's
that's why we're not evolving anymore, because we don't have a natural predator. Right?
It's us.
It's true. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, we do.
What is that?
Corporations.
No, true.
They want us all dead. Oh no, it's Mitch McConnell. He wants us all dead.
Kim Jong-un. Oh my God, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, okay. So how do we get onto this from Ghost?
I don't know, but no, we were just talking about afterlife and things like that.
Oh, that's true.
So I guess now let's talk about what we're going to do on this podcast every week. Since we haven't. By the way, have we even said what the name of the
more riveting information?
Yeah, but and I think the podcast is. First of all, we're going to call the podcast is called "Eat, Drink, and Be Scary," and that's because right now I'm drinking a nice old fashioned, and so is Ryan, and you've got a nice little porter beer from a local brewery. So
local
from here in beautiful Boise, Idaho. In my little maybe haunted apartment? I don't think it is, though. But we're going to talk about a variety of things every week. I think it's going to be... I think we'll do a wide range. We might talk about some paranormal stuff in the news. Like that one poor girl that just divorced the ghost pirate, I think. I can't remember if she just divorced that. But that made me sad.
She got half his ghost booty.
Yeah. Maybe she didn't swab his deck enough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I hold on. I got to do a real quick joke. So this pirate walks in and he's got a little steering. Why can't I think of it as just a steering wheel, right, on a boat?
I'm not sure.
This is not helping my joke. This is not helping
It's
the joke.
a yoke, isn't it?
Yoke?
I think it's a yoke. No,
is it? Well,
too bad we don't have to Google that.
I've got a friend who's a sailor. She's gonna hate me that I don't know this.
Anyways, so let's just say a yoke. Let's just say the steering wheel is called a yoke. Pirate walks into the bar and he's got a yoke on his belt. And the bartender says, "What's that for?" And he goes, "Art drives me nuts." And that's it. That's my joke.
Nice.
The comedy never starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
All right. So anyway, so we're going to talk about a lot of paranormal stuff. We're going to talk about, and the reason why this is going to be a really good yin and yang is we have a lot of educated believers and a pretty much non-educated, stubborn skeptic, as in me. But no, I think I have my reasons. I mean, I'm a realist in the sense that I just have to see it. And one day a ghost could come in here and go, "Hey, what's up, bruh? I'm a ghost." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I was wrong." But until that day,
I think that ghost is going to say, "Bill, are you paying for the power in here? Turn that damn temperature down."
Yeah, that was really funny because as I was adjusting it, it's like, "Bill," and I felt it in the wind below. Beyond that, I've just been scared. Like of things, like I can remember, and you know,
the frightened man.
No. Like you grow up as a child just thinking there's ghosts, right? You just like everyone's like there's ghosts. Oh shit, there's ghosts. Go in that basement by yourself. I can't go down there. There's ghosts. And then we have the conversation. It's like, well, why aren't there ghost dogs? Why aren't there ghost dinosaurs? Dinosaurs were on this earth long more than man. Why aren't there ghost dinosaurs? Why? Let's have real quick, Ryan. You're an educated gentleman.
Uh-huh.
Tell me why there are not dinosaur ghosts.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Is it sentient? Is it? They're not sentient. Do you think that if you don't contain the thought of I, can the I exist later?
Well, people talk. Well,
Tanya says because ghosts don't have, dinosaurs
the
don't have a
sentient
soul.
The I.
Okay, so
the id. If there's no id, then how can the id progress?
So, what determines the soul? Because people talk about seeing ghost dogs and cats all the time.
And actually, okay, Lord Arbach believes that there are ghost dogs. And when people
all
say
dogs go to heaven.
people say
Tom.
demon dogs. People say demon dogs.
Those are hellhounds. Those are different.
No. Hold on. But he said that people will tell him that there's demon dogs there, and he goes, no, dogs bark. So you have to, when a dog's scared and alone and you walk in there, a dog is going to bark and growl. So don't say demon dog.
Why?
It's just a dog. Well, right down the hall, there's a dog that barks every time I walk by it. If it was a ghost, I would just say it's a dog. But people would say, oh, it's barking to demon dog.
Well, I agree with you there, but the term hellhound or demon dog comes from, the concept of those who have sold their soul, and there's this entity that comes to get them, to drag them to hell, very similar to Cerberus.
Do you believe you could sell? Do you believe you could sell your soul?
I don't know.
Because if that, I want this to be on our next topic. Our next podcast about selling your soul.
What's the going price?
Right, yeah.
Like, what did Robert Johnson sell his soul for to the devil?
Oh,
at the
come
crossroads?
on, man. He was like for blues, man. I mean,
Yeah, but-
that's something that can't be taught, really. You have to be forced into that, I think.
Really? I don't think it's ever a forced thing. It's never coerced, it seems like.
What I mean by forced is like you have to feel the blues, right? You have to go through that experience. Now, what's interesting about Robert Johnson is people said that he couldn't play the guitar to save his life. And then he disappeared for a few years and came back and was one of the best guitar players anyone had ever seen. So either he practiced or he sold his soul to the devil. So,
I mean, it's not unheard of to get good that amount of time practicing.
I don't know. We could try it, I guess. I don't know. Like, how do you get a hold of that person?
Everybody quiet down and say aunts.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm like the wrong guy to ask because I don't even believe in the devil.
Well, here's the thing. I think that it's one of those things that it's a very popular concept, and I think it adds a little bit of mystery to life and a little bit of mystery to the afterlife, and it's one of those things that people tend to do that in order to gain something, even if it is temporary, whether it is a great musical career or money or anything along those lines. And I think it's easier for them to dwell up a story than to actually explain, hey, I just sat at home and practiced for 3 years. It's a lot better to say the devil taught me how to play guitar than it is, because that gives you a mysticism about your perspective.
Sure. Kind of on that same line, though, because my thought went to like Eric Clapton and that Crossroads song. But then I've heard the reports of everybody who's ever covered that Crossroads song has had some kind of unfortunate incident. I mean, Eric Clapton had his son die and all that.
Well, that was Robert Johnson's song.
Yeah, Robert Johnson's song. And that's the thing. And anybody I've heard that has covered that Crossroads song has had some kind of unfortunate mishap. So is that kind of what causes it? Is that the eternal price for the selling of the soul for Robert Johnson?
So listen, I'm going to send you with my guitar, and the next week you learn that song, and then we'll see what happens to you.
Sounds good.
You play that at home, though, just in case.
You're not going to want to hear that on here.
Yeah.
So next week our new guest, because Tom died.
He destroyed the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting topic, though, because I don't. Yeah, this is. I mean, so we're going to cover anything paranormal, afterlife, ghosts, Bigfoot. We're going to have a whole week. Well, we'll only do this every week.
Every week.
We'll only do it once a week. So, but we'll have a whole month. We'll have Bigfoot month, like Shark Week.
Shark Week.
That's people that eat all week at Golden Corral.
Oh yeah.
Shark Week.
Yeah.
Shark Week. Shark Week. Nope, I can't do it. I can't say it.
We're going to talk about Bigfoot for a month.
I think we will. Well, we might. I think we're going to pull up stories. We're going to talk about our beliefs. I think having a concept about our beliefs is good, because I think, unless I'm not going to diss on anyone's podcast or ghost documentaries.
Are we going to interview people too?
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
We can have people come in here and tell their ghost stories. And again, I don't want to ridicule anyone.
No, but if we're going to have a month of talking about Bigfoot, or I mean, if we're going to linger on a topic for a while, I'd love to be able to interview some of these people who have something to say about it.
Absolutely.
We can do that.
But there's just talking about Bigfoot, there are so many different theories that he is an alien, that he's just blurry. That's why people can't take pictures of him.
This is why I want to talk to them. I mean, like with Bill, if you can't be a skeptic about something and you can't have these proponents answer questions, then what the hell are they actually doing?
You need to interview someone dressed as Bigfoot.
I have a Bigfoot costume.
I know you do. That's why I said.
If we spray you down in some kind of like
swamp ass.
Hey, that sounds. You know what?
And then put you in that Bigfoot costume and put you out in the middle of the woods here in rural Idaho. Do you think that that's going to be? If you don't believe in Bigfoot now.
But you know what sounds.
Wait exactly 24 minutes.
Do you know what really sounds great though?
What's that?
On a podcast, dressing up that when no one can see you. So that sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Hey Bill, put this costume on for this
Well, I
audio.
can see you, and it does something for me.
You can see me because I'm a ghost.
Yeah, well,
Make that Wookiee sound again, baby.
Ooh la la! I like it. That was Ryan, by the way.
it was.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we covered a lot of what this is going to be about. You got to know us a little bit, and I will say this. Unless, do you guys have anything you want to add? This is our first one.
Yeah, if you guys have anything you want us to talk about, or you have any theories or anything, we'd love to hear them. It's something that we would love to do some sort of interaction between ourselves and
Search on Facebook. Look for Eat, Drink, and Be Scary, and look for our Facebook page, and send us some messages. If you guys have a story you want to tell, we can even Skype you in and get you on here and hear it, or even get you on the show. I think it's depending, but I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be fun. I think we're going to talk about some. I think it's going to be nice because we're not going to be like everything's a ghost. I think we are educated gentlemen who are going to dig into stuff and find out what's true. So,
Yeah, we'll take anybody, skeptics, believers, anything.
absolutely.
and again, I think that's it. I think we nailed it. So, Tom, Ryan,
Bill?
thanks for thank you. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
so this is really good. So again, be sure to subscribe to this because we're going to be doing more of this. I'd like to thank our producer Tanya for helping us out. She's over there, looking all cool.
Yep. We'll probably be funnier the next time too.
Oh, I think I was fucking hilarious. By the way, are we going to fucking cuss on this, or are we going to?
It's not F-fucking-CC regulated. I think we can do that. I mean, it depends.
Oh, Ryan, are you gonna fucking cuss on this, or what do you want to do?
It depends on how passionate I feel about our topics.
I mean, if, like, the ghost is from fucking Brooklyn or something.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
What if the ghost is like it's somebody who says they're fucking a ghost? Which, by the way, you and I we have so much we can talk about this.
If you're fucking a ghost, please call us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're or if a ghost is if you're having a ghost baby,
Oh, that's a good one.
we could do like Maury Povich it. Like you are the father.
I'm not sure which one of these ghosts knocked me up.
That would be an incredible TV show.
And we are going to go pretty deep into a lot of paranormal investigation equipment because we have done that. So again, be sure to watch Ghostumentary on Amazon Prime. Oh, blatant plug. And we'll plug some other stuff. We'll plug. Ryan's got a great store, and Tom's got a porn channel. So anyway,
Don't miss it.
It's really magnified, man. All the pixels, so you can kind of tell. what's going on.
it's all big. Yeah,
Photoshop's wonderful. We were talking about it earlier.
He's Asian, so everything's pixelated.
It
So,
moves
yeah.
in erratic ways.
Yeah, it's just really weird. It's just like 16-bit porn. It's just like really weird.
MIDI music, everything's
Yeah.
good.
It's it. It's like playing Space Quest. So, all right, and with that, thanks for listening, and be sure to check out the next episode of Ryan. What's it called?
Eat, drink, and be scary.
Yes. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Night.